I just did a series on a list of manipulative and controlling ways that codependents try to get their needs met. And I want to say one very important thing about that entire list, which is every single one of those strategies that we might use to try to get our needs met is not necessarily done with ill intent, right? They are what we call maladaptive coping strategies. They're maladaptive ways to attempt to get our needs met, right? So let's use passive aggressiveness as an example to explain this. If I learned really early on that if I was direct in communicating a need, right, or expressing a feeling or a hurt feeling or whatever, if I learned early on that by being clear about that, it wasn't accepted, I was given some kind of retaliation, cold shoulder, whatever, then I'm going to have to figure out a way to get that need met, right? So I'm going to come in the back door and maybe be passive aggressive about it, right? So if I'm passive aggressive and somebody's like, oh God, like, the passive aggressiveness to them, and they're like, oh, whatever, and I'm just going to do this thing because I can't stand this passive aggressiveness. I've got my need met, right? They've done the thing that I was actually trying to get them to do, but I've done it through passive aggressiveness versus being direct, right? And honest and kind, and just ask them outright to potentially meet this need for me. And so you can see how all of these, again, it's not about the ill intent. They're all ways or strategies that we learned. I can't get my needs met in a clear way, so I need to learn a backdoor way to do it. And that's where these come from, right? It doesn't necessarily make them right, but it gives us a sense of forgiveness of self, where it's like, I'm not doing this because I'm a bad person. I'm doing this because I learned really early on this was the only way that I could maybe get my needs met.